You're listening to the WCEN podcast. Hello everyone, I hope you're all feeling well. My name is Peaks and you're listening to the WCEN podcast. The reason for this podcast is to keep the communities and multi-faith networks informed on services, how to access them, and to keep their spirits uplifted. This is a platform to share and express the needs and experiences of what's happening within the communities during this current situation with the lockdown in the UK and what's going on within the world. We just want to share stories from key individuals, from the public health sector, people who are entrepreneurs, faith leaders, members of the community, and just to keep the message out there on what people can do with helpful tips, stories that's going to share and inspire you. So on today's show, we have Joan Robinson. She lives in Wandsworth. She is a retired educator and has contributed her time to WCEN since 2001 as a member, co-chair, and now trustee. She's also an elder in the Balham Seventh-day Adventist Church, co-founder of the Balham Autumn Rose 60s Plus Club, a member of the NHS South West London, and much, much more. She's very, very passionate about mental health and the well-being of seniors and children. So we're going to speak to Joan. Joan, how are you today?
I am very well, thank you.
Wow.
Enjoying the sunny day that we're having. Wish I could go outside.
Yes, you do have the right to go out and exercise for an hour.
I look forward to that later.
Yes, and then you can also have a little wander to the shop as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, we've never looked forward to these things so much, I have to say, since this lockdown.
Yes. That's right.
And things that we all take for granted. But yes, so there's so many things that you do. You're an educator, you contribute, you're a trustee, you run the Autumn Rose Club. So basically it would be lovely to just get an overview and a bit more of an intro to who you are, what area you come from, and just about your kind of like journey up into the kind of present. So if you could just share some of that with us.
Okay. I'm not very good at talking about myself, but yes, I've had a very colorful career and prosperous life as an educator, and I am now retired. I am a Christian. I attend the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I also run a senior club, which is for over 60s, and that has been my main pleasure and passion because we've all being well, we would be celebrating our 20th year in November of this year. And working with the senior folks is a total joy because it just helps me to understand and know what to expect later on. As regard my church involvement, that's also is so interesting because it gives me the opportunity to have a consistent life, to give my children a foundation so that they can understand loving comes naturally, caring for the community and being involved with the community. And for that, I've totally appreciated being part of that community because it's a large family and we get to learn so much from one another, the different skills that we have and share. As regarding the community, working for as a trustee of SEN, that was another opportunity that I really valued because it gave me the vehicle to which I could pass on knowledge and get to know different people from varying backgrounds.
Yeah, so if you can just tell us about your work with WCEN as well, if you can continue on with that.
Yeah, so to expand on my involvement with WCEN, I was there from its inception, so I've been on the journey with them, and the many projects and building friendship and relationship has been tremendous. Tremendous in the sense of the number of people that have been helped and supported by us have given us total satisfaction. and has helped us to sustain our existence over the years. And for me, being able to balance giving my support to WCEN and the church and the senior club and balancing with my family has also given me total satisfaction in the sense of peace of mind, knowing where each division, which part I play in each division of my life. And balancing has been a little bit tricky at times because having to attend meetings in the local community and being able to share how I see the moral fiber of society and where they're going and how people live and how they don't live, and being able to say, to guide them as to having that being a Christian is not separate from being a teacher or a engineer or a doctor. It's all encompassed one's life. So everything is all joined up, and having the different avenues is just the core of who I am as an individual, and I can and have shared that with people around me.
Excellent. I mean, I can hear a bit of an accent in there also. So what's your kind of like heritage, if you don't mind us asking?
Oh, right. Well, originally I'm from Jamaica.
Were you born there?
I was born there, yes, and I came here as a young child, and I came around the Windrush time, but we were not Windrush family because my parents brought us to England from Jamaica because my parents were here in England, and then they sent for myself and my siblings a few years later. So it's around that time I came to England. So I'm surprised that you picked up on my accent because I often get told that I'm British.
I can still hear that little twang in there. So you say you've lived a colourful life, and obviously you have this very much community spirit, and obviously you're members of the board, members of the church and everything. Where did that kind of come from? Or where did that kind of come from you?
Okay. Well, we've always been Christian. From the West Indies, the main denomination in the West Indies was Catholic or Church of England. And my parents were Church of England. And Christianity has always been our life. And when I came to England and then my parents couldn't find a church that they felt comfortable in or accepted, we went to a Baptist church. And then that was our base and foundation of continuity of meeting and living with people of similar mind. And then when I became a parent now, I wanted to give my children a foundation, yes, in Christianity still, but one in which that would connect them and the school. So this is how the Seventh-day Adventist Church came about, because they had that facility of offering Christian education.
Yeah, and so all these things that you participate in, it's very much needed now, obviously, with the global pandemic that's going on and the UK being on lockdown. We're like 4 weeks into it. So, I mean, from your kind of perspective as someone who's out there and a community leader, what is it that that you're kind of contributing, and what's your kind of what's your approach to still keeping those relationships going within the community?
Okay, well, I will start with the seniors first, and that's my passion. We were not happy that we had to lock down because of the current crisis. And the seniors were saying, we can still have our exercise class because it's only an hour and it's only once per week. And it was really hard to convince them that we had to comply with what the law says. So we've had to close the club, and we kept in touch via the traditional phone call because the seniors are not into technology. But there are a few who are quite advanced and quite very capable. So I've encouraged them to use online exercise classes. So we've encouraged them to get their children, if they have children, to show them how to. And I personally have been talking through individuals how they can still do their exercise at home by watching an exercise program. And because our church as well have a health department, we have our own DVDs that we encourage, because health is the core denominator amongst our religion. And also through the churches, as you know, we haven't met since the 14th of March, so it's been really difficult keeping in touch. So what our church did, and as a matter of fact, when you think about it, there are 38,000 Seventh-day Adventist members in this country.
Wow.
And over 400 congregations dotted around the British Isles, which is England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So in order to keep that connected, the different websites that I've given you, we've had to promote that and put out advertisements on the radio. And leaders in different churches have been improving on their communication and media skills by encouraging members to share the different links and the different devices. And one other main device that we've really expanded on was the use of Zoom and FaceTime, because the young people, they are on it, you know, and that's their phrase. They call it, "Are you on it?"
You're on it.
Are you on it, you know? And I
You
think,
certainly
on
are
what?
now. You're on Zoom.
Exactly. So the youth first of all set up their FaceTime and Zoom, and then they said to our leader, "Come on, you've got to get with it. You've got to keep in touch with all your members." So what we did also, we created accounts and dotted it around all our leaders, so all our elders of the church, which are like your the reverend in the Church of England or the Catholic. So the leaders took the initiative and show all their leaders, because each leader have a committee, and the committee all work together and ensure that we're still keeping in touch with our members. And for those who are not able to exercise the Zoom or all the other medias of seeing each other, because WhatsApp is another one that has been really used quite a lot. And there's another one that Microsoft Team Time or Slack is another way that we've been keeping in touch. And it's also exciting because what has happened through all of that, we get to know our members even more on a personal basis, because we only met once a week, which is on a Saturday. And with that, we would study the Bible. And the only Bible that we study is a King James Version. So that is what we believe as Christians, and that is how we kept in touch with how we're keeping in touch with the community. And the Bible, yes, is the center of what we believe, and Jesus is our foundation. But regarding the community, we never force anyone to be converted, but we certainly share why we're different and why we worship on Saturdays, and also what we can do for them to help the community who are having health challenges. And we've introduced a lot of our health courses to the community so that they can get to understand how to take care of themselves. a number of ways that we've encouraged our members to share with their families and friends who is not part of our fellowship is our Adventist Radio, which is a radio station that addresses everything for anyone. You don't have to belong to the Seventh-day Adventist Church to access it. We also have SEC Media, which have been converting our live sermons and preaching, our worship day, our service day, into recording material so that can be streamed. Whilst it might not be live, but it's in our archive. So we've been sharing that and encouraging more people to tap into our own site. And it's quite similar to that of Premier. So, because a number of people know about Premier Radio, so that's there for them. Also, we have prior requests. So we've got a free conference call that we've put out, and which is from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. daily, and that is open to any and everyone. We have support for our members and the local community to give a more community spirit and keep them connected with the COVID-19. And the website for that, do I say that? Or
Yes, you can. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah?
Thanks.
Okay. So I will say the website for the community in particular, because they're whom we want to stay connected with.
Yes, that's
So
fine. Yeah.
it's sec.adventist.uk/COVID-19. And with that, you just look on the site to see the community hub, and you can tap into that and you'll get an array of information and different organizations that you can see what is related to you, and then you can tap into that freely.
Lovely.
We also have our another link which you can find for the nearest church to you, and the various projects that they have on for feeding the homeless, for providing for accommodation, not freely mind. They provide temporary accommodation, I should say, and also various other information that you can get for signposting, and that's on the same website. We've got our counseling website, which is a shoulder you can lean on, and it's quite an effective, professional, and confidential counseling service for adults, children, and young people, couples, and families. And that can be found on the website www.ccscounseling.org.uk.
Lovely.
We have a monthly magazine which is called the SEC Communicator. Again, our main website, our organization head website is secadventist.org.uk, and all this information you can find on our website, should in case you miss or having difficulty accessing it. We also have a learning hub, which is a university-like college where you can learn a variety of things whilst you are locked up at home and got some free time. You can tap into any course that you like. Lots of online courses are available to you. And this is how we want to stay connected with our community, and we want to stay connected through SEN, because that is the avenue with which we have more contact and official contact, because as a church we have to consider safeguarding, because we care about the health and safety of people. So we ensure that the people whom you will contact are the other end of the line or at the other end of the website, or whichever information you might be seeking, they are all qualified, well-trained individuals who have all the credentials that will help you to live a healthier and happier life.
Lovely. There's a lot of resources there, so we'll put definitely all the links in the information box down below, and obviously so people can know how to spell it and stuff. But that's great. Obviously, you've got a lot of free resources out there and still very much in touch with the community. I mean,
Yeah.
speaking about community, obviously, there's so many things that you're contributing towards, but obviously with this is like the first time that so many people are experiencing this type of on this scale, like a UK lockdown, and the whole world is kind of going through it at the same time. But in the wake of this, even though it is very much serious and everything, what's one of the best things that you've kind of found that about the spirit of community now? Obviously, everybody's gone through this and people are concerned, and you are out there helping, but what have you found that actually how the community is actually handling things this way or whatever? So what's one of the best things you would say about community spirit?
Okay, the community, what I would say that I've experienced best about all of this sadness is the fact that we're all equal in the experience of COVID-19. It is not color. It is not man, woman, or child. It is not this age group and that age group. And that is our one commonality. And because of that, it has made us more humane. We've stepped back and we've been reflecting. We've talked to people whom we wouldn't have spoken to before on the very street you live on, people whom you see and you just say hi. We stop and talk now. Keep remembering to keep our 2-meter distance, and that often make us laugh because we're thinking here we are trying to getting to befriend one another, but at the same time we still have to keep our distance. So we have to remember that though we are apart, we're still united because we're united in the cause of, if I may say, the effect, I will use that word, the effect of COVID-19, because we can all share how we feel discouraged, unhappy when we lose a loved one and can't be able to give what we would term the normal support and comfort to each other. But at the same time, we can identify with it, so we have more in common. But one thing that really brought it home to me personally is one of the day my husband fainted and gushed his head open. And whilst I didn't panic, I called the doctor. The doctor encouraged, call the ambulance. The ambulance came. They did what they had to do. And then I'm getting myself ready to go with them, and I got told, no, you can't come. And I said, what? He doesn't have COVID-19. They said, yes, he cannot come. So I said, you've got to be joking. And they were quite adamant. And I was going to put my foot down, but then I said, you know what? They're doing their job. That's what they've been told. So let them do their job. So I said, well, how will I know how he's getting on? And how will I know what's going to happen when I'm sitting here and start getting anxious? And they reassured me that they will keep me informed as they went along, which they did, and that was really nice of them. So, because normally that wouldn't have happened. So I was thankful that whilst I'm sad that the experience for my husband happened, I'm also happy that we were given first-class treatment and also kept in touch along the way so that you didn't get too anxious. So that commonality for me was what I learned about this COVID-19. And that's the humane attitude that was lacking in a lot of people and young people, because young people don't seem to know how to relate to affection. And that's something we need to address when all of this is over. Whatever it's going to be the norm, at the end of all of this, we need to ensure the norm is all about relationship, how you deal with conflict, how you deal with your change of life, whether it be physical, mental, or emotional, And we as Christians, we study the Bible to understand how our forefathers experienced life and how it applies to us today. And we do that through prayer. And we believe that prayer is one of the core part of our learning and keeping sustained and faithful and not fearful. So we have an acronym which is PUSH, 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 which stands for pray until something happens.
Lovely. What I'd like to ask you is, obviously you've spoke about your love and your passion for the church. Now I know that keeping yourself and your spirits uplifted is obviously a huge part of that, and many other faiths. So in terms of, I see you're a lover of music. So is there, on a kind of lasting note, is there any kind of music that keeps you inspired, any kind of songs or anything that you'd like to kind of share as a last thing that you feel is something that kind of touches you and keeps you kind of motivated and keeping in a positive spirit?
Okay. Oh my goodness. I having this experience has given me so much information about my involvement that I myself had been neglecting my involvement because until I have to write it down, it just didn't seem that I was so involved in different areas, Mm-hmm. And another area that we promote is those who are experiencing learning difficulties, because they're also another group that tend to get ignored.
Yes.
And I had to learn, because we have a number of people who are deaf in our church, and also when I go to the community events through SEN, and I noticed that there were people there who were either hard of hearing or totally deaf, whether they were born with it or not. And there wasn't any facility for them to understand what was going on. So I was able to introduce and encourage for sign language facilitators to be a part of community meetings and in our church. And then I myself learned level 1 sign language, British Sign Language, and for us it's brought home to me again another group of people who we need to really remember that they exist, not just for them, that you've got people with dyslexia and what have you. And then we've got our own community project, which is ADRA. That's also amongst the list that you're going to put together. So a song that I would like to, in all of that, I'm thinking the song that I would like to share is He's Got the Whole World in His Hand. Okay. But I'm not going to sing for you, so if that's what you were trying to get me to do, I'm not going to sing.
No. I just wanted you to name something. If you wanted to sing, you could have sang, girl. But yeah, no, it's just, whilst we're all here and, music is definitely a way that touches us all, especially in the BIM community, especially in the faith communities as well. So I'm sure we all got like a favorite or maybe something we hadn't heard in a long time. You could re-jog people's memories and say, put this on, turn it loud and just sing and be happy for a while. So that's your song recommendation, the whole
that's
world.
That's my song recommendation. He's got the world in his hands.
There you go.
Because we're in a time of uncertainty, yes, with many changes, that are forever challenging and changing. So it's difficult for all of us, and it gives me the opportunity to know that I can contribute to families with children, who have disability and may not have the extended support. And it shows how much, although we're all in our different pockets of provisions and projects, we're not in silo. we're all together as one, but we have to play our part in reaching out to those who don't have a voice, who don't have the opportunity to contact, to know where to turn to when they're in need of help. So yeah, this has been very encouraging, being able to do this, and I hope it really reaches you, the community, and you will just continue this conversation and tap into any resources and give us a call so that we can get to know you better or have some impact on your life.
That's it. Thank you so much, John. There's so much that you're doing and contributing, so thank you for doing your work and helping everybody else out there in the community during this time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, and yes, enjoy the rest of your day, and enjoy that trip and get that little bit of exercise whilst you can and the sun is shining. That's also good for you too.
All right, then, thank you.
All right, take care of yourself.
Okay, and you too. You take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was Joan Robinson. Unfortunately, I didn't get to sing. But if you want to go and check out that song, then please go and see it. Or maybe you remembered it and you can go and dig it out and put it on and enjoy the rest of your day. But thank you so much, John, and everybody else out there who is still keeping the community very much at the forefront and keeping us uplifted and inspired. If you want to find out more, you want to contribute or give us your feedback, tips and experiences, or please drop us a comment, you can email us at info@wcen.org.uk. If you want to check out more details, then you can please go and visit www.wcen.co.uk. Make sure you sign up to the newsletter there to keep abreast of everything that's happening and get some more helpful tips and resources from that. Also, if you want to find out the latest government and healthcare guidelines, the most recent up-to-date things can be found on www.gov.uk, or you can go and check out www.wandsworth.gov.uk. Please, if you find this very much helpful and inspiring, then consider sharing it with somebody else. Thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe. Stay safe and stay well, and we'll see you on the next issue. Thank you so much. Take care. You're listening to the WCEN podcast.